What the hell are we doing? What is going on? The enhanced games, where the athletes are not subject to drug testing. You can take whatever drug you want. They've raised a multi-million-dollar investment round. Christian Engermeyer, Balaji Srinivasan, Peter Thiel. Come on, Peter, what are we doing? If we're going to have athletic events centered around performance enhancement, why don't we strap a fucking jetpack to some guy? Why don't we put wheelies in the bottom of their shoes? To me, this feels like these guys secretly want to live out the athletic dream they never had. If you're an athlete considering being on the enhanced game cap table, let's go, baby. It's another episode of the Athletes and Assets podcast. I'm your host, Noah Lack, and I bring on your favorite athletes to chat about a business topic. Today, we're doing a little solo vibe, but before we dive into it, please smash that like and subscribe button. Please do me a favor. Actually, do me two favors. Look behind you right now on the screen on the YouTube channel. Look right behind you and see what I put behind you. If you actually look behind you, also like and subscribe to the podcast. That was crazy. But today, we got to skip the small talk because, wow, the news has been very interesting lately, and I needed to share my 2 cents. I can't even speak because of what's going on right now in the news. Let me just start off. Let's just go right into it. I live in a fantasy world. I am here in San Francisco, spent time San Francisco / Silicon Valley in what people call a bubble, a fantasy world. Why? Because of something called venture capitalists and VCs, people that fund businesses in exchange for equity, and they hope they get more in return later. This has been very commoditized because the VCs are getting really good at marketing. The reality is, last year in 2023, 5.5 million businesses were registered. 5.5 million businesses across the U.S. were registered. The reality is about less than 1% of those actually receive VC funding. So VC is so fun to talk about in the media and stuff, but it's a very rare occurrence. It's a very rare occurrence if a company is backed by venture capital firms. It's very rare. So why are they publicized so much? Once again, VCs are really good at marketing. And so, a lot of the big software companies that we've used, the Google, the Facebooks, the Amazons, have needed to take VC funding because when you build a software company that big, it requires that much outside capital. And so let's get that clear for a sec. VC funding is incredibly rare, but highly publicized. So just like the ones that are successful that are highly publicized, there's also let's just walk through some dumb investments VCs have made over the years. Because why not? It doesn't all work out. People want to, obviously the firms want to glorify when they do have success, but sometimes the failures get a little swept under the rug. They get swept under the rug. And I get it. I understand. The VC success rate is super rare, first of all. It's less than, your average VC firm is, the success rate is less than 1/5. One fifth of the time does a VC get an exit. A company IPOs or gets acquired and returns the fund because it returns the investment amount tenfold in what they put into certain companies. Usually VCs invest in software companies. There's exceptions. VCs can really invest across any sort of field. Software has been the most popular. So now that, obviously it's established that the VC success rate is really low, there's also been some high-profile failures that you may or may not have remembered. Let me walk you through some very high-profile, businesses that failed and that were venture-backed. I think you remember Theranos, right? Revolutionary biotech startup that claimed to have a device capable of running a wide variety of medical tests. It turns out it was flawed, scammed, boo, company went to shit. Even some athletes probably heard of Theranos. What about Juicero? Does anyone here remember Juicero? They were a juice machine company that pre-sold packets of diced fruits and vegetables. Users plugged into a $400 machine, then squeezed the contents into generating juice. Brilliant, right? Raised over $120 million. All was well until the users could easily squeeze the packets with their hands and turn the contents of the juice at a faster rate than the machine itself. So that sort of led to the demise of a Juicero. What about most recently? We got WeWork. I mean, you guys have heard of a lot of people and athletes. If you haven't read up on the WeWork saga, please read up on WeWork. For athletes that are going into VC, you should probably understand the failures as well as the successes. And so WeWork is no exception. WeWork raised billions of dollars off the premise that short-term desk rentals would elevate the world's consciousness. At some point, they were valued at $47 billion. And, I think we saw recently how that went. Realized this wasn't a sustainable business model. WeWorks did not work in different cultures, different cities. Way too much money raised for the business model. And WeWork is a popular one. And I wanted to list out some dumb VC bets to just give that context, that frame of mind, because oh my gosh, one of the dumbest investments I've seen that has come in the news lately has been in none other than sports. I have not seen any athlete investors in these headlines. It makes sense that no athletes have been publicly acknowledged to have invested in this at this point in time. This has been backed by VCs. In fact, some very high-profile ones, and it's in the realm of sports. Which brings me to the Enhanced Games. Guys, what are we doing? The Enhanced Games is a planned international sports event where the athletes are not subject to drug testing. You can take whatever drug you want. You can smash, stab anything in your elbow, your buttocks, anywhere. Anything that gives you an advantage, take it, baby, if you're in the Enhanced Games. Set to be more announcements on the way on the plans in 2024. There's a report in Paris. They're going to list the details of when the first Enhanced Games will be. Look, anything you want, man. You want to take anabolic steroids, Quaaludes, smash it up your butt, whatever that process is, I wouldn't know. Do it. Take any steroid you want. Compete in the games. We got money. Go show. Move humanity forward. Push humanity forward is the mission of the Enhanced Games. So they compared this to how they deal with Formula One cars. Formula One cars are some of the most advanced cars, and every year the braking system from the engine gets constantly improved and iterated, and then the old system actually gets used by sports cars. And then that same system, eventually, there's a trickle-down effect where, the new improved brakes and systems that the sports car companies learn about, it actually gets funneled into like traditional regular cars. And so the brake system of cars keeps improving. So the logic here is we do the same thing with humans. We see how we pass Usain Bolt's 100-meter time, and whatever that substance they're taking, whatever that's using, we just pass that down, no problem. We just pass that down, to the next generation, and everyone will, start cheating their way and, taking steroids. What the hell are we doing here? What is going on? This did not have to be a game. This did not have to get marketed as an Olympic competitor, because it doesn't need to be. If you're looking to push humanity forward, I'm going to come back to that. So, me being here in Silicon Valley and seeing the VCs, I noticed this thing has raised quoting from the Enhanced Games site, they've raised a multi-million-dollar investment round from Christian Engermeyer, Aperion Investment Group, managing the holdings of Christian, is a very successful investor in various endeavors. I'm going to skim some of these investors quickly. Balaji Srinivasan, that's a big deal. Former CTO at Coinbase. Bet $1 million that Bitcoin would hit $1 million in 90 days last year. He lost the bet. Wow. Still a big time person on that capitalization table, whatever that looks like. But like Peter Thiel, Peter Thiel, co-founder of PayPal, co-founder of Palantir, managing partner of one of the most known VC firms, most prestigious VC firms, Founders Fund. Come on, Peter, what are we doing? On the cap table of the enhanced games, putting his money behind the games that you can take any drug you want to use to compete at the highest level. Come on, Peter. Peter Thiel. This is incredible. I don't know why these guys would pitch money into this. And it sets a bad precedent for athletes. It puts us in an uncomfortable position. And so here we have, a future Olympics competitor. They're going to try every substance in the book. And right now, if you put if you raise a multi-million-dollar round, I envision the valuation is probably around $25 million or more at this current moment. And if they've raised that money pre-games, they're probably going to raise a ton more and a ton more. It's a lot of fundraising, pre-product market fit, pre-success. So, good luck with that from a business standpoint. Like, that's tough. That's an outlier. Enhanced Games will be one of the few companies this year in 2024 that will raise that much money pre-revenue, pre-everything. That's a very rare occurrence. Enhanced Games might be in the category with some sort of ChatGPT, OpenAI mafia offshoot where employees will go raise a bunch of money from the OpenAI mafia to start their own company and be able to raise a shit ton before anyone sees the product because they can't. They have that sort of pull and juice and credibility. It's crazy how a sports league like this is probably in the same bucket as that. So from a business standpoint, that's actually crazy to think about. But man, here's where it gets interesting. I think people will watch this, but I think that you could have done this a different way, guys. If the motive is to really push humanity forward, you didn't need to create an incentive for guys to cheat or a different route for people who want to gain ahead through steroids and performance enhancers through an Olympic-style competition. You just could have done lab testing, man. If you really want to push humanity forward, stay in the lab and then work with pharmacies or pharmaceutical companies, biotech companies, different types of medicine. And I assume the exit would be either government acquisition or a big medical company, biotech company buys you out. Or you go public. If you're going to do that, fine. Do it that way. But we're talking about, they want to compete with the Olympics. They want track and field runners to start doping. They want wrestlers to start doping. They want powerlifters to start doping. And not saying, a lot of them already do, all right? But I like to think they're not in the greatest sporting event ever, the Olympics. What are we doing here? To me, this feels like these guys secretly want to live out the athletic dream they never had. If we're going to have athletic events centered around performance enhancement, why don't we strap a fucking jetpack to some guy? Why don't we put wheelies in the bottom of their shoes? You know those wheelies? You know the wheels on the shoes where the guys, where the kids in middle school would run, and then kick the heel up, and then they would roll on the hallway. Why don't you give them that as well? Also, why don't you have a jetpack, and instead of the jet velocity going down, you just tilt it sideways, and so while someone's running, there's a jetpack blowing them forward instead of vertical. Have the jetpack blow them forward instead of vertical. You want to talk performance enhancer? We can build some performance enhancing shit here in this lab. We can build a jetpack for this. We don't have to do the steroid route and sort of taint the youth and create this whole moral dilemma just because it's 2024. This is I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed. Not necessarily in the Enhanced Games, but the folks who backed it. as we've admired, and me and a couple other athletes have admired sort of, as we've transitioned and we're in the world, we're in the weeds of what these guys are doing and investing in. It's a little disappointing, from an athlete's perspective, who's never taken any performance enhancement drugs to sort of, support this and be cool with some of our tech idols getting involved in this. Dude, if you want to live out your JV dream, man, do that on your own. You don't need to go fund a business to support your childhood dreams, brother. Like, it doesn't have to be this. It doesn't have to be this way, man. I promise you. And so, what we have here is a sad dilemma we're going to have to bring up and surface. I think the best athletes do not need performance enhancement. And there will be athletes in the enhanced games that beat typical records of Olympic records, especially in track and field. I will not qualify that. Usain Bolt, until someone's proven he took steroids, that man is the fastest man and most athletic man on the planet. And someone taking steroids, with his close to his ability plus steroids, like his close to his ability, and then take steroids, I'm disqualifying their score, man. I don't care. It'd be cool to see human enhancement, but in a different way. They were, the argument is like, well, alcohol, people like, alcohol is not taboo, and it's like one of the worst drugs for you. All right, buddy, we fucking get it, smart ass. Like, this is different. This is athletics, right? Okay, this is, we still have a code. It's the purity of hard work. It's bigger than just athletics, man. It's life lessons that we apply everywhere. And so to fund the enhanced games that support drug testing for the purpose of advancing humanity, dude, give me a break. That is ridiculous. And I hope I don't see other athletes on the cap table. If you're an athlete considering being on the enhanced game cap table, I'm not rocking with you, man. I'm sorry. If I see you on the cap table, I'm not rocking with you. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. If I see you, let me catch you on that cap table. Please. I don't approve. Athletes make a lot of dumb investment decisions, but just like we give athletes shit for their investment failures, we gotta call a spade a spade. I hope this one's a spade. I think it'll be one. This is another solo podcast. If you like that, please like and subscribe to the pod. And if you look back earlier in the podcast and I fooled you, please like and subscribe to the pod. Thank you guys for joining, man. We'll see you for the next one.